Hi, I'm Jim from Hypervac, and I just want to go over the two main air compressors that we sell. Typically, we only sell gas-powered compressors. You can get electric ones for air duct cleaning, but they'd have to be two 20-volt units. One 20-volt unit will not give you the pressure or the CFM you need to do it properly unless you tie, a bunch of 120 volts together. If a company tries to sell you a 120-volt air compressor for duct cleaning, send them packing because they're just trying to rip you off. It's no way you can do a proper duct cleaning job unless you use gas-powered compression. And so we've got two different models here. There's actually three different models that we can get. We usually just buy these two because they've got 4-piston, 2-stage units. They're very, very heavy duty. And there's also two different types of gas-powered compressors. There's hobby grade and then what we call industrial grade. We only sell the industrial grade ones. And industrial grade compressors, they're made to run many hours a day, 40 hours a week kind of thing, and they'll go for many years. A hobby grade compressor may give you the same pressures and the same volumes, but they're more of a compressor you'd use on a Saturday for 2 hours or a couple hours on a weekend if you're fixing up an old car or something. If you need a compressor that's going to pound all day, day in and day out, and work without breaking down every week, then you got to go to industrial grade. And one of the best industrial grade compressors that we've found so far is made by Cast Air, and it's a very, very good unit. This has the 2-stage 4-piston pump, and the reason we go with the 4-piston pump instead of the 2-piston pump is that you'll get extremely high volumes of air pressure and it'll spin at a nice low RPM. So for instance, this is a 13 horsepower. It pumps out at 30.3 CFM at 175 PSI, and it only spins around 500 or 600 RPMs, which is very, very low. And so when you got low RPMs, you got less heat buildups in the head and in all your valves and pressure fittings. And so less heat means less problems. As soon as you get a very fast moving head like a 2-piston unit, now you got to spin those things twice as fast, 1400 RPMs, which generates a lot of heat. And that's where you get a lot of problems and breakdowns with your air compressors. Keep the RPMs low, go bigger than you need, and you'll have less problems. And so this is the Cast Air 30 CFM unit. It's got a 13 horsepower Honda. It's got its own fuel tank, pull start. You can hook this up if you want to buy a battery, and you can buy a separate battery and hook it up. And this will give you a tremendous amount of volume, and it works amazing. It's very high quality components all the way through it. The next one, and this is the one we actually use on our H1 duct truck, and it's a 43.6 CFM unit. So if you compare CFMs, a Quincy 325, which is also one of my favorite compressors, I just wish they weren't so expensive. Quincy 325 pumps around 18 CFM at 175 PSI. Now if you go up to the big Quincy 370, that pumps 49 CFM at 175. So this guy's 43 CFM. So it's right up there. It's twice the size of a Quincy 325, and it's a little bit below a Quincy 370, and it's a little bigger than a Quincy 340. In terms of quality, it's pretty close. It's not quite what a Quincy compressor will do, the Quincy High Series, the QT, or the QR. But it's a very, very high-end compressor. So it still has the Japanese bearings and the hardened push rods and all the good stuff that you'd see in a Quincy. And it's got the spring valves and the whole 9 yards. It may not be quite as high-end, but it's half the price, and you're still getting close to the same quality. So that's why we buy the Cast Airs. Again, we also always order these with easy drain valves, so you can drain the oil on the engines. So it's easy to drain, easy to maintain. The 20 horsepower does not come with a pull start. You've got to actually hook it up to a battery to start it. But when we run them into our H1 duct trucks, they're naturally plumbed with electricity and exhaust and all that stuff anyways. 750 pounds is what this one weighs, but it's a compressor that'll last, and you'll still have it in 10, 15 years from now. And so you got 43 CFM, 30 CFM, both are 175 PSI, industrial grade units, extremely heavy duty. And we're very happy with them.